Chapter 21. Working. Snow didn't stop that night. In fact, a particularly large dump happened between 7 o'clock at night and 4 o'clock the next morning. I woke up to my alarm clock radio's announcement of every student's most joyous words: snow day. We didn't get them often out here, but when we did get them, it meant it was horrible out. Another foot of snow had hit between the sunset and sunrise, and thick, chunky flakes were still falling. The temperature had risen slightly, so the roads were a perfect mix of melting top layers and frozen base. Not fun to drive on, legitimately dangerous while the snow still fell. As I got up to see if Mom had heard the announcement on the radio, she was on the phone. From the bits of the conversation I heard pre-coffee, it was with Dad. "Yes, if you could be, that would be great." "Okay, drive safe," she said, and hung up the phone. "Your father's coming to pick me up and to drop Audrey off and I at work. The roads are either closed or closing, but all of us can't miss these shifts. I can spend a night at the office if it's really this bad, if I have to, and I'll call if I do. Will you be okay today by yourself?" she asked in a hurry. "I just can't miss the web conference today, sweetie." "Alone by myself during a blizzard? Borderline child abuse right there, Mom," I said as clearly as I could without being too obnoxious. "I'll show you child abuse," she said, leaning in for a forehead kiss. Dad's number flashed on the call display as the phone rang, and I picked up. "Hello?" I said, the morning still thick on my voice. "Chris, it's Dad," he said. "I'm picking up Sarah Perra's father along with your mother for a ride to work, too. His blower is apparently down. He can't get his Mazda out of the driveway. Can you swing by after you're done your yard today and clear him a path? I'll come take a look at the blower tonight when we get home." "Her house is like 2 miles away," I complained, "and it's still snowing. And the Perros are good people, and they want to help, and we help out in the country, boy. Get shoveling," is all he said, and then he hung up. "Apparently I'm rescuing the neighbors today," I grumbled to Mom as she finished her coffee and marched to the bathroom to get ready. "The Perros' blower is down, and Dad's picking Sarah's father up for work as well." "Of all the places to get involved with a carpool," Mom said. We both laughed, and then I remembered that I had to shovel twice as many driveways today. The shoveling sucked, but not as much as the awkward conversation Sarah and I were most definitely going to have. I could count the words that we exchanged in the dance on my elbows, and not knowing that there was some big school-wide scandal that I knew nothing about, I was not inclined to become an expert in the conversation going well. By the time I had cleared out the yard and Mom could get to the road to meet Dad, the snow slowed to a picturesque dusting that accented the quiet rolling hills of the countryside. It made every direction look like a Christmas postcard, and the snow had kept most people home, so the roads were extra quiet. A single set of tire tracks being the only disturbance of the white stuff on the road. I'd spent 3 hours getting all the snow out of the banks I had made earlier and clearing a path for Mom's car to get out when the roads got better. Everything was really quiet. A kind of quiet that creeps out your mind and reminds you of the ringing you only hear at loud concerts, and how your inner voice sounds like a whiny version of you. "Get moving," that voice said to me. Without slowing down to inspect my Mastercraft shoveling job, I started trudging towards Sarah's house. The tire tracks I saw must have been from something big, large farm implement that made its way down the road at some point. The ankle-deep snow had 2 large, chunky tread marks down the center of the road for the entire way. I used them to make my way to Sarah's house, figuring it would be better than plowing the snow myself. And I wondered if walking on the road was safe. Old city habits, slowly dying, I guess. The world was so still and so quiet, I thought for sure I would hear them from a mile off as I continued trudging. After about 20 minutes or so, I crested a small hill before her house and saw the tiny farmhouse flanked by lines of tall, old-growth pine trees. The house was quaint, and a thin stream of white smoke trailed through the sky, slowly rising and getting caught in the faster-moving currents of air near the clouds. The lights were off, and for a second I thought of knocking first, but began pushing the snow from Sarah's mailbox at the road, and the 2 wooden crates that kept the garage safe from the raccoons and other animals, marking the other side of the driveway. Thankfully, her driveway was about half the size of mine, and the snow still sucked the strength out of my arms. I was tired. I tried to form the same windrows that I had going to my house, but Sarah's dad, having a blower that had worked previously, didn't have hills that I was used to heaving over. I haven't shoveled snow that low to the ground since December. A fact my muscles quickly reminded me of. It took me about an hour, but I cleared the truck-wide path to the buried SUV and then brushed the snow off the car and cleared it too. I found the snowblower by the door and did my best to get it free for Dad to come take a look at as well, not knowing exactly how far to go with my Good Samaritan effort or not. This was my first venture into being a good neighbor, after all. I don't remember hearing the door open in the quiet of the snow-laden air. I just remember the voice, sounding like a yell, but registering in my brain like the soft, happy, thankful tone that it was. My hero, Sarah said, mimicking the Southern Belle's swoon as I chucked one of the last shovelfuls of snow onto her yard. There was Sarah, in purple plaid flannel pants and what was obviously her dad's sweater, standing on the porch of the house, hands clasped around a steaming mug of hot chocolate. We both laughed, and I kept clearing the snow around her porch. Dad called and told me about your blower, I said. Also told me to come over and dig you out, and figured I'd listen to the old man for once. I looked up and smiled at her. Yeah, it might be my fault, she said. I might have sent a rock through the blower last night trying to stay ahead of the snow. Sorry. She said sheepishly. She was frustratingly cute when she wanted to be, and she pointed her mug to a large dent in the adjacent garage, where the rock had been flung. Oh, okay, I see how it is. Sarah wants a day off school, so she trashes her dad's blower and lowers his property value. I joked. These kids these days. Sheesh. Guilty, she said, smiling. You look cold. You want to come in and warm up before you head back? I paused for long enough just to realize I wanted her to see me pause. Sure. Can we talk about the dance then, too? I asked. She paused now and let her thoughts flow like the silky smoke drifting up to the sky from her chimney. She bit her lip and sighed. I guess I owe you that much, huh? She finally said. You did just shovel my driveway. And my driveway, in a blizzard nonetheless. I don't forget, I said, trying to be funny and pointing vaguely towards my house. We both laughed more nervously than anything else, and I trudged my way back up to her porch stairs, clearing the snow as I went. She ducked in first and let the door close ever so slightly behind her. I finished up the porch and stepped in, a warm wall of air slamming into my face, and now noticeably frozen hair. The house smelled like a wood fire and hot chocolate, and felt like the reward I didn't know I was getting for the work I had just gone through. I did not expect to be digging my way to a girl I liked when I woke up that morning. And as much fun as it was, and good-looking and exciting as she was, I didn't want to get what I received next. No one would. That was chapter 21. Hope you guys like it. And like I said, there is the links in the description below for the books on Amazon, and we will talk to you guys later.